So guys, today is day 3 of self-isolation quarantine, and we are making
and we
bruschetta.
don't have corona.
Not that,
We're just voluntarily self-quarantining because we came back from California.
So for bruschetta, you can make it any way. You can. Some people put tomatoes, basil, mozzarella on bread, on toast. Most people use French bread and they slice it. But today, because we're limited in ingredients, we're just gonna make it with what we have. So we've got cherry tomatoes. Normally I'd use Romas, but all I'm doing is, they're already rinsed off. Don't worry, they're clean. You half them and then you cut them in quarters. So each single tomato is cut into 4 pieces. And then I've got the bread prepped over here. We have some Japanese white bread because that's what we have. So all I did was take 4 slices of bread and I cut them in quarters as well. The oven is preheating to 350 while I finish cutting these ingredients. And then we are gonna do basil. So next thing I'm gonna, well, we've put more tomatoes, but we've got basil.
She's got her Hawaiian.
So we've got basil. We have our Maui herb gardens, green basil. And then haven't decided yet, but we also have some fresh mozzarella.
Fresh from the store.
Fresh from the store, that we might top off with.
We might or we are.
Haven't decided yet.
Word choices. Okay.
Alright, so we've got our diced tomatoes. We've got basil that I just rinsed off. And I'm plucking the leaves. Let's see here, and then I like to, because they're still kind of wet, I like to place them on a dry paper towel and try to get as much of the water off of them as possible. It doesn't have to be all, but just so they're not soaking wet. You don't want too much liquid in your bruschetta mix. That's what the balsamic vinegar and the olive oil is for. So just go like that, you pat it lightly. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. And then we're gonna go ahead and chop them. So the best way to chop them, I find, is to julienne them.
It's called chiffonade.
Chiffonade, sorry. Yeah, chiffonade.
And where do we learn all these technical terminologies?
I learned it at Whole Foods.
We learned it at the Food Channel.
Anyway, so you want to get a few basil leaves. You want to start with the largest ones on the bottom. And pile a few more, putting the smaller ones on top. So that's about good. And then you want to take one end and try to roll it. So you're kind of rolling it. Doesn't have to be tight or completely tight, just as long as it's not unraveling. And then you want to take your knife and you want to kind of just make small cuts. Now you can cut it as thin as you'd like, as thick as you'd like. If you like thicker pieces of basil, you can make them into bigger chunks, but we like to have some basil in every bite, so I try to make it on the smaller side.
Yeah, some people just break it up, or small leaves, they just put it on top.
And you want to just put that right inside. Again, this is to taste, but we like basil, so we're going big tonight.
So same process.
Same process. You put the bigger leaves on the bottom, pile the smaller ones on top. I think that's good. like that. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect. But the main thing is they're broken up, and you're not going to eat a whole leaf of basil in one bite. Our stove, it's a little crowded, but you see the oven's preheated. Just stick this in. You want to heat it for maybe, I'd say maybe check it after 5 to 8 minutes. So
Heat it or bake it?
we're toasting them. Sorry, we're toasting them. Okay, so we've got our tomatoes and our chopped basil. First thing we're gonna do is season it first. I've got some. So this is sea salt, not rock salt. So you just put some in.
Remember, you don't want to over season.
So
Taste as you go. You can always add more if you need.
And then we add some black pepper.
We don't have a pepper grinder.
No, we don't.
Again, we're just using what we have in our house.
And then we're gonna go ahead and I like to put the balsamic vinegar on first. This is a Trader Joe's balsamic vinegar we just brought back from California. So we're gonna go ahead and top it off.
And they can use any balsamic, right?
Any balsamic.
Okay.
Yeah. Just whatever you have at home. So just a little bit.
A couple tablespoons.
Yeah. And then this is our olive oil, courtesy of Sam's Club. And go ahead, just drizzle it.
And they can use any olive oil.
Any olive oil. And then we are going to take our mixing spoon, give it a stir, mix it up. So you want to kind of break up the strips of basil so it's somewhat evenly distributed amongst the tomatoes. And then to taste, let's see. Go ahead and take one. For me, I like balsamic vinegar, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a little more.
And you can adjust it to your own taste. You want more salt, more pepper, whatever, more olive oil. That's certainly up to you.
It's got enough salt. So the thing you want to do is have this mixture sit for a little while. I'd say maybe 5 to 10 minutes before topping on the toasted bread, just because you want the tomatoes to absorb the acid in the balsamic vinegar and the olive oil, so it'll get more flavor throughout the bruschetta. Alright guys, so we've got our toasted bread, just came out of the oven. So you're gonna take it on a cutting board. This is optional, but we are fans of garlic, so you can take a garlic clove and you don't have to chop it up. You can just actually scrape the toast, just like that. If you smell it, you'll smell garlic. If you like a lot of garlic, you can really scrape it on there. So the toasted bread will actually scrape particles of the garlic on top. And then you take your mixture, pour it right on top. If you like extra of the balsamic and olive oil, you can drizzle it right on top. And boom, you've got your bruschetta.